Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside Michigan Baseball. I'm Anthony Polidano, coming to you from the Wilpon Complex. The Wolverines currently sit at 8-4 in the Big Ten, tied for third in the standings with Indiana. They travel to Bloomington this weekend to take on the Hoosiers in a three-game set. Last weekend, the Maize and Blue dropped 2 out of 3 to Northwestern. In Game 1 on Saturday, the Maize and Blue saw their 10-game winning streak come to an end as they were shut out by the Wildcats 6-0 at Wrigley Field. On Sunday, the two teams played a doubleheader. In Game 1, Evan Hill and Matt Ogden combined for the shutout as the Wolverines won 5-0. The win was Hill's 7th this season against only one defeat. In Game 2, the Wolverines dropped the rubber match of the series 3-2 as they lost a late lead and lost in extra innings to Northwestern. On Tuesday, the Wolverines were at Ypsilanti as they lost to Eastern Michigan 15-10. One bright spot from that game was the Wolverines on the base paths. They stole 12 bases in that game, including 6 by Patrick Biondi. The Maize and Blues' all-time career leader now has 102 career steals. All right, we're joined now by the coach of the Wolverines, Eric Bakich. Talk about this past weekend a little bit. You guys lost the series, but a few bright spots. Logan McNail kind of back on track on the hill. What do you see out of him? And when he's going right, what do you see out of him?
Well, he had all 3 pitches going for him on Sunday. He was throwing his curveball and his changeup over and pitching off of his fastball like he normally does, but he was pitching down in the zone and pitching in with his fastball, so he was very effective. So that was good. It's good to see him put up a lot of zeros and put us in a position to win. Overall the weekend was disappointing because we didn't win the series. Our goal is to win every series, and it's uncharacteristic of us to cough up a 2-run lead like that late in the game. We're usually pretty good late in the game, especially with Jacob Cronenworth on the mound. But just a combination of a lot of little things. Slipping and falling on field and bunts, and a couple of errors that normally would not happen, a couple of tough calls that didn't go our way from the umpires, and just a combination of a few things that allowed them to tie the game up and then win it in extra innings. But we'll bounce back. We always do. We're a tough bunch, and these guys will be fine going into this weekend.
Against Eastern Michigan, 12 stolen bases, 6 out of Biondi. Kind of talk about him, and is he kind of back to full strength and where you guys hoped he would be and need him to be?
Yeah, he's a premier base stealer in any league. He's just very talented, very gifted in that category, as well as a lot of others. But he has a knack for getting on base and getting into scoring position. And 2 or 3 times last night he got on first base and then turned it into a triple, stealing second, stealing third. So he's very good at stealing bases. That's why he's Michigan's all-time career leader in stolen bases. But that was a fun night as far as being able to put pressure on the other team and seeing what our offense is capable of doing. Scoring double-digit runs and stealing a lot of bags, and we just got to do a better job putting zeros up. But our pitching staff has carried us for the last few weeks, and I really think that was just a bad night from the pitching standpoint. But we'll be fine. We'll bounce back, and when we're putting it all together, about time to put on another streak together too.
You guys have potentially going to have 6 guys double-figure stolen bases up and down the lineup, cleanup hitters, 5-hole hitters. Talk about what a big role that's played and what you want to do out there as a team.
Well, base stealing is a technique, and you don't have to be the fastest guy. And so we've got decent team speed. We don't have a bunch of blazing. Pat Biondi and Mike O'Neill, are pretty fast and would be considered premium runners. But Travis Mazies and Jacob Cronenworth and Kevin White and Zach Sott, they're all good runners. But they're not they don't have blazing speed, but they all are good runners. And it's just some techniques they've been working on since the beginning of the fall, and they've really bought into those, and those are on display. And it's just we're going to continue to stay aggressive on the bases. For us, we would rather try to get in scoring position with a steal than a bunt and give up an out. So it's a little bit of a risk, but the risk reward there, our success rate's been pretty good, well over 80%. So I think we're going to stick with that as best we can and just try to get these guys in motion so we can hit them in.
Big weekend ahead of you this weekend, going to Indiana, ranked number 17, tied with you in the Big Ten. Just kind of talk about the challenge in front of the team.
Yeah, it'll be our biggest challenge of the season, I would guess. As far as playing a ranked team 3 times on the road at their place. We're both tied for 3rd place right now, and they had a slip up a couple of weeks ago against Michigan State where they got swept at Michigan State. But they certainly are a veteran ball club. They've got a lot of older players, experience on the mound. So it'll be a good test for us. It'll be a good challenge, and we're just going to have to give our best effort and bring our best energy and be relentless all weekend in order to come up with a weekend win.
The Wolverines series with Indiana gets going at 6:05 on Friday. On Saturday, they play at 4:30 p.m., and on Sunday, the series wraps up with a 1:05 start. The Saturday game is televised live on the Big Ten Network. We'd like to remind you can follow the Wolverines anytime right here on mgoblue.com. I'm Anthony Polidano for Inside Michigan Baseball. We'll see you next week.